Canals are man-made, but they'd silt up over time if you didn't do some maintenance work to them, and that's because vegetation falls into the canal, leaves falling off the trees, silt and soil washing in streams and off the fields, and all of that builds up over time. We've got a 2,000-mile network of waterways here at Canal and River Trust, so it's a never-ending task to be dredging those to maintain it for boats. We spend half of our money on river navigations because they silt up much more quickly, and we're visiting those much more frequently. Canals like this, we would only dredge once in a generation, maybe every 20, 25 years. So to keep on top of that programme, we survey the network routinely, we identify which canals have got the least open water and therefore are most in need of dredging, and we compare that to information from our customers about where they're having problems particularly. The jobs that are at the top of that list that we should do next are the ones with the least open water and the most difficulty for our customers to navigate.
Here at Marple, we have two main problems that we're facing in this project. The first problem is, because of the length of the lock flight, a lot of water is required to top up the canal. Every time the lock is used, around 80 megalitres of water is lost into one of these pounds. So because the pounds are wide, the water here tends to be stale and they deposit a lot of silt, so the pounds tends to fill up quickly. The second problem is the fig forest is short of water because one of the main feeding reservoir is out of service. After the incident in Tobruk, we needed to drain the reservoir. That means conserving water is really important, and the dredging works will allow for more water to go around in the canal.
A project like this, there will be probably a couple of years of planning before we actually get to site. We've looked at what time of year the dredging work is going to be done and what would be the best time of year to have the least impact on any local wildlife. Water quality is an issue for fish, so it's probably best on a job like this that this is done in the winter months. Also, we have to give a lot of consideration where we would gain access to enable the works. That's positioned at an area away from the towpath where there won't be any interaction with the general public. And we also have to think about the large number of historic structures on a route such as this, and that everything we do has the least possible impact. Once we get to site, the actual dredging is carried out by a 3-ton excavator mounted on a pontoon, so that is effectively the dredger. That excavator removes the soft sediment from the bed of the canal and loads it into the hopper barges. The hopper barges are then transported down the canal by a number of tugboats to the unloading point, where along which excavator unloads the material into the lorries for disposal off-site. In total, over the 8-week project, we'll be removing in the region of 7,000 tonnes of sediment from the canal.
So once we've got the material out of the canal, then we have to dispose of it. So we've got a number of options for that. We'd prefer to spread it on agricultural land or put it behind bank protection or on the banks of the canal. That keeps it nice and local and is actually reusing and recycling the material. If we can't do that, particularly if it's more contaminated, it would have to go to landfill, and that's what's happening here on this job. But the site that we're taking this material to actually mixes the dredgings with some fly ash from a power station, and that combines into making a material that they can then use as an engineering material, so it's not actually being disposed of. We spend about £7 million a year on dredging. Here at Marple, we're going to be on site for a couple of months, and the cost of this project will be over £400,000. So you can get an idea for how many jobs or how few jobs we can actually do with our money. Obviously, I'd like to spend more money on dredging, but we have to balance all of our maintenance obligations across the waterways. What we're actually spending is maybe about 10% of our total maintenance budget out of our total £90 million or so that we spend on maintaining the waterways every year.